general question on the market. We've had a pretty solid couple of days. Is that it for the time being?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance that could be it for the time being. I think what we're looking for now is some evidence that we're getting more than just the promise of further central bank action to really drive equity markets higher. Yes, the NASDAQ is at multi-year highs, 14-year highs. The S&P is within sight of its all-time high. But if you actually look at European markets, Axel, we're still quite some way from the highs that we saw at the beginning of July. And I think that's largely down to concerns about the growth prospects, particularly here in Europe and Germany and France in particular. And I think what equity investors in Europe more than anything want to see is, rather than promises of further action from the ECB, some evidence of earnings growth and income growth from European corporates, and certainly some of the stories that we're covering today would suggest that remains fairly elusive at the moment. Well,
let's look at one, maybe two of those. Carlsberg, I mentioned, they missed. This is all about Russia, which, 40% of Carlsberg's business is out of Russia? Having said that, Heineken didn't look too bad.
No, absolutely. I mean, I was expecting to see some form of sort of World Cup boost, if you like, for these brewery companies. Generally sporting events tend to boost the bottom line and the top line for companies. But Carlsberg warning about its profits in Russia, 40% of the market. We got a flavour for that, I think, earlier this month with respect to Adidas warning about profits in Russia. And I think that, more than anything, I think is a concern going forward. Heineken, not really too many surprises, but again, income was pretty much flat on the 6-month period. But I suppose if you're looking at the two brewers in isolation, Carlsberg is near 12-month lows. Heineken, on the other hand, is near 12-month highs. So obviously we are seeing Heineken refresh the parts other beers cannot reach. I couldn't resist that. I'm sorry.
And you're telling your age by remembering that commercial.
Absolutely.
I don't think they use that anymore. I'm not sure. But quick final question. I know I didn't mention it, but the Balfour Beatty Carillion story. A third offer has been rejected now by Carillion. Does this deal make sense to you?
Well, I certainly think it does make sense if Balfour Beatty wasn't so obstinate in actually pushing back on it. Certainly the shareholders of Balfour Beatty seem to think there is some value in it. I'm not sure that Carillion should go back for a fourth time. I think they're paying over the odds for it anyway, even allowing for the Parsons-Brinckerhoff deal. And I think if Parsons-Brinckerhoff is sold off, the deal really doesn't make sense. So Balfour Beatty, I think, need this deal more than Carillion do. And I certainly think that the only option left for Carillion right now is to go hostile over the heads of the board and appeal to the shareholders.